This is Josh Johnson. This is Josh Johnson in 3D. This is Josh Johnson trapped in 3D. What? Ow! 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 Help! Ow! Ow! Huh? Coming to you live through the interwebs, it's Josh Johnson in 3D! That's right, for 3 months only in 3Ds, Josh will be traveling the country to bring you 3 dimensions of hilarity. So sit back, pop some corn, put on those glasses, and enjoy the show! Showed it actually in 3D and previously recorded in front of a live audience.
I've been trying to make more friends, and I feel like sometimes the way that friendship starts can be unsettling because friends have a responsibility to each other, and sometimes the responsibility comes before the friendship. So something happens, and then you're like, oh, as a friend, I should step up. But I don't know what type of friends we are, so I don't know if I have to step up like this because this is the first test. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is where we find out if we're friends or people who have each other's number. I was in an Uber, and when I was in the Uber, got chatting with my driver. You know, it was a long ride to the airport, so we're just over here, you know, commiserating about some stuff. We talked about politics, talked about like background, everything, how we grew up and stuff. And then I heard a noise, and it was like it had like I don't know how to describe this because I don't know cars that well, but just know that, just imagine, I want you to close your eyes and imagine you're in a car and it's going so this car's choking on what, I don't know. But he's just talking, and he's just going on, and I'm asking him what I try when I ask people questions to ask interesting questions, not just a regular, like, how's your day going? Just like something, especially if you give me some information about yourself. So I'm asking him some more questions about, you know, like where he grew up and what his dynamic is with his family now that he's moved away versus like what he thought it'd be when he was younger. And he's telling me because I'm asking these elaborate questions, but the whole time all I can really hear is like, oh. And I didn't want to interrupt him, but finally I had to be like, "Yo, dog, do you hear your car right now? Like you drive it every day, so like maybe it just does this at 3 p.m. and you don't pay it any mind, but like this is concerning because it sounds like it's happening under me." And then finally I'm like, "Hey, can you hear your car?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's weird, right?" I was like, in my head, I'm like, have you been hearing it the whole time? And you just weren't going to say anything if I didn't say anything? And then we broke down. Yeah, the car broke down. And the way the car broke down is it wasn't all at once, but we started to go slow when I could tell his foot was on the gas. Like I could see him like kind of giving it a little bit, and we were still coming to a stop. And so I was looking out the windows and everything because I noticed all the other cars were going pretty fast. And finally we stopped, and he's like, "Oh man, oh, I guess it was really serious." And now I don't know what to say in this situation because I'm like, yeah, I guess so, but I don't know anything about cars. Like, I wish I was that dude that could be like, we'll be out of here in a jiff. Pop the hood. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I knew about cars so bad. Sometimes I see cars and I'm like, I think the engine's in the front. Like, I don't know anything about cars at all. Like, even when they change the oil, I never really know what they're doing. You know, I used to go to Pep Boys with my mom, and then she'd get the oil change, and they pull that stick out. I don't know why they have to have a stick in there to make sure there's oil in there. They pull a stick out, and they look at it with the rag and be like, seems dirty. And then they just put it back. I don't even know what they were looking for. I thought they were looking for like how deep the oil went on the stick, but then I was like, that can't be it, because they were looking at like the quality of the oil or something. They put it back. And so once we broke down, I was like, Dang, yeah. Whew. This has never happened to me before. And he was like, this has never happened to me before. Man, what are we gonna do? I was like, we? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the moment where if your friends, this is where a friend steps up and is like, but I still had to get to the airport. Like, I was like, hey, I'm gonna call Lyft. Because in the moment, it felt best to switch apps. Like, I know this is one car, but in the moment, it felt like a whole thing. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get a Lyft. And so I ordered a Lyft while we waited in the car. And I felt, the whole time I felt, wow, I was like, should I offer to give him a ride? Like, no, I just mean he was giving me a ride. And then my Lyft came, and the pickup spot is you usually standing outside. And so I felt bad for my Lyft driver because this dude pulls up and sees me get out of a car. Pop the trunk, grab my suitcase, lean over to him. Can you pop your trunk? Then I sit in his car and we drive off, and then I look back and my Uber driver waved. I was like, am I a bad friend? I didn't know we had a responsibility to each other like this. I'm sorry. Man, what was I supposed to do? I was late now. Even when I've been with friends that I've known for long, like, you just stay decently in touch and everything, or you see each other once in a while. Like, I used to live in Chicago, and sometimes I go back and visit Chicago, and I see my friends that I made when I was there, and we only see each other when I'm there. They don't really come to New York, and I don't really meet up with them anywhere else. When I'm back in Chicago, we make sure to hang out. And I was with my boy, he was walking, going to get some food, and out of nowhere, a mini drone, like the toy, it fell out of the sky, fell on him, right? Like, hit him in the head. And I wish I was better in a crisis, because when it happened, okay, so when it hit his head, I went for cover too fast. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, drone's falling. Like, how am I supposed to know it's just this one? How am I supposed to not target and attack? Maybe they were trying to get me. I talk very reckless about the administration. I'm over here. Maybe this one was meant for me. I know it's like child size. It wasn't like the full spy drone. The big old drone that was like when those drones were over New Jersey and everybody could hear them. They were like playing loud. It wasn't one of those. It was really one of the ones you would get, Christmas Day. And then you go out and, thing came out of nowhere, hit him in the head. And by the time he grabbed his head to react, because it hit him hard, so he was clearly hurt, when he looked up to turn back to me, we were walking on the sidewalk together, but by the time he looked up at me again, I was under an awning that was like... Look, I hate being a coward, but it makes you fast. You know what I mean? Like, I was really knees to chest with it. I wasn't even sure it hit him by the time I ran. Like, man, you ever start dodging before something even coming at you? Like, oh! That. And once again, my friend over there, and he even had like a little touch of blood from a cut, like behind his ear and everything. And he was looking at this thing, it's in pieces, shattered. And he, I knew I had better self-preservation skills than he did because this is the one. He the dude that got hit, and it still took him a while to be like. This dude got hit, was like, oh. When you've been hit from above, don't look up. Are you out of your mind? That's where the trouble came from. This dude got hit in the head from above and then was like, is there more? So he looked over at me like, I was like, get over it. He came under the awning. He was like, once again, I had a friend ask me, what are we gonna do? And I'm not proud of it. But I told him, I was like, it seemed like they after you. Whoever this is, I don't have anything to do with this. I don't live here anymore. I'm not going down with you. It's very important, especially as men, that we hold on to, we maintain strong friendships. It's very important because on our own, like really solo, isolated, men, we don't do well. Because when we don't have friends, when we isolate ourselves as men, we do end up, shooting. This is true. Yeah. At least if you have friends, you're like, hey, y'all want to go shoot targets together? It is still very difficult and a skill to just have the courage to walk up to a person that you may never see again, that you don't have to have anything to do with, and become friends. Like I even look at myself, and I have friends through comedy that I wouldn't have met if it wasn't for comedy, because comedy is the thing, that's the main thing we had in common. We wouldn't have been friends outside of comedy because we just would have never run into each other in any other space, in any other way. And that goes for people who do lots of different things, people who do music, any special interest. This might be the one thing where you met this person you would have not met otherwise. I said all that to say I could not have imagined, if you gave me all the time in the world and a list of anyone who had ever lived, that Kid Rock and RFK Jr. would be this close. This is wild. This is like, I did not see this coming. Kid Rock and RFK Jr.'s friendship is out of this world. I've truly never seen anything like it. I've seen plenty of like middle-aged to older men become friends, but the way that they have bonded feels different. It feels very different. They put out an ad. They put out an ad, and for those of you who have not seen the ad, it's gonna sound like I'm lying until you watch the ad. You have to watch the ad to believe what I'm telling you, but this happened, and I cannot be one of the few people that knows about it. It went viral. This is what's annoying about viral now, is that it went viral in a way that still didn't hit everybody enough for everybody to talk about it. Because then there were people who saw it that you could see that day who saw it and who hadn't seen it. Because the people who saw it were like... Everyone who saw it looked like somebody poured Sprite in their eyes. Like it was... I remember I was watching. It was confusing. The more they think, okay, so RFK Jr., I think his next move is like, hey, let's get these ads out there, let people know that they should be healthy. Which is usually something you have to make an advertisement for. Like, I can't believe they're spending real money. They're spending like Super Bowl commercial level money to be like, yay, yo, hey, remember apples? No, yo, hey, look, they still here. Don't forget apples, all right? Like, put the Oreos down. We're not going to do anything to take all of the toxic chemicals out of the candy and the cookies and the stuff. But put it down, even though it's incredibly addictive. Pick up an apple that's probably genetically modified. Just apple. Just remember apple. And so this ad starts with Kid Rock and RFK Jr., shirts off, right? If I had to see it, you have to hear it. Over here groaning already. It's gonna be a long night if you're over here. No, it starts out with RFK Jr. and Kid Rock, the two beacons of health. Like two of the healthiest people I've ever seen. If you had just met people and then you saw them, you'd be like, that's people and health right there. The ad, it starts with RFK Jr. and Kid Rock flexing shirtless for a different camera. They're not looking at the camera filming them. They're over here. And look. The olive branch that I do have to it is true. It's just a fact that RFK Jr. is like 70 and he is ripped. That is happening. He does have muscle. It does look like somebody poured it into a mold of a person, but it is muscle. Like he is. No, you know what I mean? Okay. No. Anybody here who grew up on dollar store toys knows that general toy that they made. You know that toy that they clearly used like the Superman mold for, but they didn't have the copyright for Superman, and so he was like Mr. Man, and so then they poured the plastic in that mold, and they didn't even make him white. He was like pink, like it was like that. It was like RFK Jr. looked like if a raisin did push-ups. Like he does have the muscle. Like you can see with his shoulders and everything, his arms. Like, all right, he has the muscle, and it makes me wonder what fitness means. Because he does look like I'm being honest. I'm just trying to be fair. RFK Jr., when you talk about just like his figure, he does look healthier than most 70-year-olds. But then everything he says seems like it would kill anybody. Like everything he describes doing, he's like, oh yeah, I just been eating wheatgrass for 67 years. You're like, nothing else? No. And that's not even, that's a bad example because that's not actually a true thing he said. A true thing he said was that he eats roadkill. And it's like that, all right, I feel like that would take me out, so. It feels like a weird balance of health that he has. Like in one instance, he's like ripped at 70. It's like, okay, how do you pull that off? And then he'll also talk about eating a bear carcass. And you're like, there's no way. There's just no way. And so it starts with them flexing at what looks like a different camera. And Kid Rock got a towel over his shoulder that's covering up a lot. It's covering up a lot of body. And I get it, because if I'm honest, like once again, I'd say a lot of things. But if I had to stand next to RFK Jr. and he looked better than me, I'd have a whole toga on. I'd be like, you're not catching me today looking smooth while you looking ripped. That's not the cards for me. And then it shows them, the camera pans to a taxidermied bear with a hat on, holding what looks like a sword. And that's when I started to lose where we were doing health. If the ad, even if the ad was like 2 seconds and was then be like, ugh, and then it was make America healthy again, I'd be like, all right, that's weird. But at least it was all about like looking a certain. Once I saw the bear, I was like, what? What's happening? And then it said like Kid Rock and Robert Kennedy Jr. present. And as soon as it said present, you could hear Kid Rock in the background doing one of his songs. The way they layered the ad as far as like just sonically, like the mix is insane, and then visually too much is going on. Because then you had a Kid Rock song play. I don't know what he was saying. So that's in your ear, right? So if you had your AirPods in, you're like, who in the room with me right now? Because it doesn't look like a music video for what they do. And then in front of you, you see the image of the bear melt to just the flag flowing and a shark for no reason. Also, it's very important that I point out, it's been 4 seconds. The whole ad is insane. You gotta watch it. So you see the shark for no reason, and the shark that pops up out of the water, I'm like, is that the shark from Jaws? Like, what does that have to do with anything? And it said that, you know, Kid Rock and Robert Kennedy Jr. present Rock Out Workout. And then you see a bald eagle, once again, for no reason. Found footage, it looks like, of a bald eagle flying. And then they cut to RFK Jr. and Kid Rock walking, like, away from the camera. We're looking at their backs now, walking away from the camera in slow motion. All right? The problem with the slow motion that they did is that it seems like in real life, Kid Rock and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. were just walking slow. So it's extra slow motion because it was slow movement. So what are you slowing down? If they had been running, you'd be like, oh, they about to get it because it's slow. But they were like... And then, while we're cutting between them walking in slow motion, we see them holding a flag outside by the pool across what looks like a mini Statue of Liberty. Kid Rock's house is insane. If this is his home, I don't know why he has anything in there the way he has it. And then Kid Rock is taking his shirt off, once again, in slow motion. It's up in the air. And then right as he's about to, like, pop RFK Jr. on the butt with his shirt, we see flames, just flames like an explosion. And then it cuts to them working out as RFK Jr. doing the curls. And once again, RFK Jr. has, like, genuinely, like, has a strong looking body. Kid Rock looks exactly how you think he would look. Like, I've never seen somebody's body, because okay, remember in COVID when you met people masked up and then you finally saw the second half of their face and then you realized you didn't put faces together the way you thought you did? Do you remember those old slide games where you'd have to like mix and match faces and you're like, I played that when I was little. I know what the bottom of their mouth looked like. And then as soon as they took off the mask, like as soon as everybody vaccinated, we can take them off, and you saw them. I met so many people twice. When I tell you people who I met and I became friends with during COVID. And then, they over here, hey, Josh, how you doing? I'm like, hi, sir. How are you? Didn't recognize him at all. I don't understand how faces work in the league. If you cut off here, you basically don't have a face to me anymore. So then you see Kid Rock, and you see him working, like RFK Jr. is like working out, and then you see Kid Rock doing some sit-ups. And they cut from the first sit-up that he was doing by himself to a sit-up where RFK Jr. holding his feet. which means the people making this insane ad, this truly like out of human consciousness ad, saw Kid Rock do a sit-up and they were like, not like that. And when it got RFK Jr. to hold his feet, and look, you should hopefully be in a position where if you are out here doing sit-ups, you can have a friend, they're working out with you, to hold your feet. I'm not making fun of that at all. What I do think is unfortunate is that clearly they had done several takes because Kid Rock did the first sit-up no problem. I don't know what happened between sit-up 1, 2, and 3, but the third one, it seemed like he was fighting for his life coming up. First one, he's over here. Second one. Third one. I was like, y'all just use the earlier takes. Like, y'all already had flames for no reason. Why do you have to use the actual take of him struggling a bit? And then after that, we see them in a sauna. And they're in the sauna, and maybe I've been using saunas wrong my whole life. I thought you got in the sauna to like sweat it out, or, I thought you were supposed to sit in there, chat about business or something like that. They had the exercise bike in the sauna, which seemed like a guarantee for a heart attack. That seemed like heart attack recipe right there. Just get a sauna, get exercise bike, hop on and die. And so they took turns. Whoever was on the exercise bike was, looking at the camera, and then the other one would just be in the background of the sauna doing push-ups. And I was like, all right, I guess if you're trying to sweat extra, this makes sense, but I've always just sat in the sauna. Right afterwards, RFK Jr. walks out of the sauna and jeans on. Hops into a cold plunge. Let me tell you the psychotic behavior of jeans on cold plunge. A cold plunge is already something you have to get your mind right to do. You already have to get yourself, all right, it's going to be good for me, helps the muscles, calm down the nervous system, whatever your reasons are for getting in there. To get in there in jeans means that you have left society behind. I saw this man hop into a cold plunge in jeans. I'm like, there's no human way. This man hopped in, and obviously barefoot. Took off the socks and the shoes like you would before you get in, but left the jeans on. Do you not wear underwear, sir? I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, no, I actually just wrap my undergarments in barbed wire. It's good for... He gets out of the cold plunge and then just starts walking around Kid Rock's house looking for Kid Rock in what is one of the worst stage sketch portions of anything I've ever watched. Because he's clearly supposed to, for this next scene, find Kid Rock and then bring him to do the next activity. Because Kid Rock's lounging around, right? He's not taking it serious. Come on, Kid Rock, we got more working out to do, right? The problem is he walking around Kid Rock house wet, in wet jeans, stops right in front of the camera and goes, "Where's Kid?" Not only do you know the answer, but please, I'm begging you, in the time that we're living in the year that we're living in this administration that we're under, please, as a 70-year-old man, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, please do not walk around soaking wet in jeans saying, "Where's Kid?" The idea Let this man walk around somebody's house dripping wet. Where's kid? You better have dementia. You walking around here. Where's kid? And then he finds Kid Rock lounging around in the pool and everything. And then he's like, come on. So they can go play pickleball. Pickleball. The healthiest pastime of all time. Pickleball. They had a little face-off, and then every time they hit the ball, it would either be lightning bolts or flames that they had imposed onto the screen. But they play a couple of serves of pickleball, and then they go back to the pool. RFK Jr. takes his shirt off again, and then with jeans, jumps into the pool. He loved being wet with jeans. This man's favorite thing is being wet with jeans. I thought it was eating roadkill, but apparently it's being wet with jeans. And then they both had a glass. They both had a glass. They both toasted. They knocked glasses together. And it wasn't water. It wasn't water. You should drink your water. It's good for you. Please drink water. Stay hydrated. It's very important, especially when it's hot out. Drink your water. Drink water every day. Take care of yourselves and drink your water. They were not drinking water. They were drinking milk in the pool. This is one of the sickest things I've seen in a long time. This is, look. If you come to my house and drink milk in my pool, I'm calling an exorcist. I'm calling an exorcist immediately. There's no way you should be drinking milk in the pool. I was raised, personally, I don't know about y'all, but it's hard to tell what was like actual passed down wisdom and what was just stuff people told you when you were little. I was told you shouldn't eat or drink 30 minutes before you get in the pool. I thought that they were like, don't do that, you'll cramp up. What? My mom would tell me that all the time. Don't get in the pool if it's been less than 30 minutes since you ate or drank, you'll cramp up in the pool and you'll die. And the confidence with which she told me I'd die was startling, because I'm like, but you'll be there. Like, why would I still die? She made it sound like she'd stand at the edge of the pool and be like, I only save people who listen, so sound like that's you. No, I was, blown away. I was like, I don't eat or drink 30 minutes before you get in the pool. I even heard some people grew up hearing 45 minutes. I don't even know how that's possible. If you have a pool party, nobody's gonna make it in. But they were sitting in the pool, drinking milk, and then the text came over on the screen that said whole milk. As if that was our problem with this. As if they jumped in the pool and started drinking milk and we were like, that better not be 2%. I'm gonna lose my mind if they drinking 1% milk in the pool right now. They even had the whole milk font they used was also disgusting because it was dripping. It was like, remember the Goosebumps font? Like it was that. It said that, but whole milk. And the W falling off, like a W dripping. It looked like, you remember Slime Time on Nickelodeon? It was like, they just toasting, drinking whole. Oh, imagine. Oh, this is so unfair. Imagine being in the pool and somebody got a milk mustache on. No. If you ever in the pool with somebody and they got a milk mustache and then they go under the water, drown them. Like that's not somebody we need back up here with us. That's insanity. Ugh. It's very weird just to watch them in the pool together, and then they were over here toasted. Kid Rock raised his glass of milk. mouthful of milk. And then came over black, make America healthy again. And the thing about an ad is it's supposed to raise awareness or make you want something. And in this ad alone, you've turned people off of saunas, off of cold plunges, off of jeans maybe, who knows? Like this. I put on my jeans today, was thinking about how RFK was dripping at Kid Rock's house. I've been trying to find positive things on the internet, which has been difficult. It's difficult when you have a problem of being like chronically online, but you also want to be positive. I was in a roller coaster this past week. That little monkey punch. Yeah, this is crazy. All right, for those of y'all not on, I know you probably didn't see it because as viral as it went, it's all splintered now. So there was this little monkey called Punch, which already too cute of a name. You got to name him like, Derek or something. You can't just like Punch is like too sweet. And it's a baby monkey, and he's at the zoo, and he wasn't accepted by the other monkeys, and so the zookeepers gave him like this little plushy monkey, and so he brought the plushy monkey everywhere with him because it was his only friend, and it was really sweet to see him with the plushie. But then he'd go up to other monkeys and they'd be like, like some of the monkeys are actually bullying him, which was really sad to watch. He was running from me, he was scared and stuff like that. But then every once in a while he'd walk up to the monkey and then another monkey would be like, is he carrying a dead body? Like he's still I couldn't decide if the monkeys didn't like him because he had a toy and they didn't, or didn't like him because they didn't like how attached he was to the plushie. But then there was a part of me that was like, no, if you're a monkey, you don't have any concept of what like a plushie is. So they're probably like, I think this little one, they named him Punch, he probably killed. He murdered a monkey. And so we're all on the internet like, leave Punch alone. But the monkeys in there are like, yay, look, if he walk up, you gotta square up because this one to kill him. This one really, he really lived that life. You see, he killed that other one, been dragging him around and hugging him. No, he been hugging. That's a real psychopath to kill somebody and then be like, I miss you, dog. Like that's terrifying. I've never seen that in my life. I had to be rescued from the wild. I've never seen anything like that ever. Joe was crazy. And so then you saw them like, he would walk up and they run away and everything, or they like, ignore him, like they just straight up turn around. And that was probably one of the coldest. A monkey turning around on you is so disrespectful because you know how smart they are. Like that means they exactly mean to do that. You know what I mean? Sometimes my dog will fall asleep with me on the couch and he'll fall asleep close. It's very sweet. He has his little legs like on my chest, something like that, and I'm watching TV, I'm laying my head on the pillow, and then he'll fart. This dog will fart. This dog farted in my eye. This dog farted way too close to my face. Because when they're laying there so cute, you forget that they can be disgusting. And so you let them lay too close to you or the pillow. And so my dog farted. I spring up because my dog has farted in my right eye. And because I spring up, my dog wakes up. When my dog wakes up, he's like, oh. It's not intentional at all. When a monkey turns its back on you, it means exactly what we mean when we turn our backs on you. Like, Punch would walk up. Hey, y'all. How's it going? They turn around. At first, when I first saw it, I got mad. I was like, y'all leave, just let Punch hang out with you. Y'all not going anywhere. It's a zoo. There's nowhere else for you to be. You might as well make friends. You got your minds over here ostracizing little Punch. That's why he got the plushie down, because y'all not nice to him. But now when I think about it, you know, like, let's say Punch is right here and then walks up and he's like, hey, and then you turn around. Maybe they weren't turning around like, Maybe they were like, okay, y'all, wait, is he still behind me? Is he still behind me? Well, if you don't know, look.
Mira.